Do it.
Where did we end off last time, folks?
Uh, well, basically, grandmother was pulling a pan out of the oven, and I
Yeah.
think just star wipe to now. We're good to go.
That's all that happened last
Yeah.
session. That's it.
Yeah.
You guys don't believe me, but I swear it's true.
The look on Georgina and Steph's face
Yeah.
was just
When you said that stuff, I went back just to specifically look for that moment. And
Yeah.
they're both just like, what? What?
Don't even remember what I said it for.
It was when Sir Basil threw a fire dagger at Apoc because he wanted to test his new
Right.
fire resistance ring.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we know that Andrea's Nona takes no fire damage ever.
Yeah.
Nope. Also has no fingerprints.
Yeah.
Maybe related, maybe not.
Maybe related, maybe not. Exactly.
I don't have a fingerprint on this finger anymore from stitching.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. All the
Yep. That's why.
But yeah, so last session was pretty much like a down day, right? Like
Yeah.
there was picking up stuff from the store. So Sir Basil got his sword. Apoc got a bunch of potions. There was a scene talking with super sexy saucy Petra, but in a different body,
He's back, baby.
She's back. And
where
Pog-
we learned a little bit about Cam's situation and how Cam was not necessarily holding up his end of the bargain with like the boss, so to speak. Um,
the
and we
forest.
learned that she purposely can't hurt Apoc. Something is like restricting him. The rest of the crew did some shopping. I think they went for like mani pedis. Aurora and Elle went to dinner with Aurora's family. Elle got all like snazzied up in an awesome outfit.
Yeah.
Basil did some kind of like went to see his family, saw some old friends in the city they met earlier in the campaign, and then decided to sneak into the Zogma residence, where he didn't really find anything, but on his way out, noticed that his blink, blink dagger was gone. Without really thinking about it, he blinked to where the dagger was and found himself somewhere facing a mysterious Corvum. And boom, that's where we are.
Right. So we will pick up right there, having split the party yet again. Basil on his own, and the rest of you back at wherever it is you are.
He didn't tell us where he was going.
He did not.
No. And it's nighttime, so I imagine we're at our place of sleep residence.
Yeah.
Hotel. That's what the word I was
Oh,
looking for.
no.
Wow, we have one.
Oh no, there's one in this group too.
Yeah. But I know that Aurora took one of Basil's axes
Yeah.
for some reason. So yeah, there's potentially something there, but we'll see.
So it is pushing an 11 o'clock, 11:30 p.m. after spending, 2 hours and change meticulously going through the Zogma house. Everyone finishing up their day, Aurora and Elle walking back to the inn, I believe it's the Golden Galleon Inn, after an eventful family dinner, chatting a bit about Maitland, finding yourselves back at the hotel or back at the sleeping place. While Sir Basil, having just blinked into from a nighttime, a deep night outside the house, as you were about to step outside of the Zogma house, streetlight adjacent sort of magical bulbs just kind of float along the streets to give at least a bit of light in the dark. You blink into a very small 5 by 5 by 5 dark room with a single orb to give some very dispersed amber light.
Like in the middle of the room, hanging from the ceiling, or like where's this orb?
Just sort of floating around the ceiling, actually around the head of this Corvum, a white splash along one side of his face as he stands towering over you, almost seeming to have to hunch a little bit in the small, like 5 foot tall ceiling space, holding your onyx hilted blink dagger. A look of shock that crosses his face before a wry grin. As he looks at you and just says, "Creepy house wasn't enough to keep you away, huh, Basil?" You do.
Do I see anything else in this room? Is it just like an empty room, or like what is there around me? And also, like, is there anything specific I notice about this, other than just the scar? Like, does this person have like a weapon? Do they look like they, yeah.
Go ahead and give me a perception check. It is not a scar. It is a white splosh of feathers.
That's it.
Feathers.
A 16.
16. Your eyes kind of dart around the room very quickly. There's not too much of an adjustment your eyes have to make going from a dark outside to a dark interior. What you notice, the smell, it smells a bit musty is not the right word, but it smells almost like a wet wood. There's almost a freshness, a crispness, but at the same time, a dampness of being enclosed, almost. You notice with a 16 that the walls around you seem to be not unlike the walls of the Zogma house, or really of any building here in Alderheart, as it's carved out of the wood of the tree itself. You see a knot in the wood, the light just catching on some of the veins of this knotted wood. You see the Corvum as you focus on him. There is a small stool that it appears he was sitting on in this room before. You notice the Corvum and take a deeper look with a 16. He is in a simple tunic, something that would be worn under armor. It is a very plain in design, very simple, more loose fitting, although he's tall and kind of lithe. He's a more well built as far as you can tell. The stitching looks to be fairly decent, but it is just a deep indigo, deep purple. Nothing, no sigils, no symbols, for example, nothing identifying. Just a clean, well outfitted Corvum in this very tiny room.
Okay. And there's no furniture other than the stool, which is behind him.
He stood up from it, so yes, it is like a three-legged stool with a very simple back.
And no other furniture. It's just an empty room.
Nothing. It's small. It's 5 feet by 5 feet.
Okay.
As he's towering over you, it's almost
That's pretty
towering over you in the space.
Okay. Oof. 5 feet by 5 feet. Okay, that's not a lot of room.
No, you are 5 out of 10. You could not lay down.
Yeah.
Very.
Okay. Okay.
Did you enjoy your visit, Basil?
So Basil's gonna draw his sword, kind of, and so he should be small enough to back away, but still in the room to kind of as if he's kind of putting his sword in between the two of them, right? So he's almost like back to the wall at this point, just with his sword kind of like pointed at him, and he's gonna say, "I don't know who you are, and I don't know how you know me. That dagger doesn't belong to you. Put it down and tell me where I am."
Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Buddy.
It's
Andrea is actually shaking.
Oh my gosh. Do I have anything that can help me reroll?
Great start.
Okay, it was a 7.
No.
Didn't Basil have a coin? Who? Didn't Basil have a coin?
Save,
True. Could
Hey,
I
pigeon.
save it. Save it.
Get out of here, pigeon.
we'll leave it. Yeah, we'll leave it.
Do you imagine Basil just takes out a coin in the middle of this encounter with his other hand to flip it?
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Alright.
So it's a 7. You see this Corvum as you say, "Tell me where I am." The feathers around his face kind of puff almost a little bit, making him appear more shadowed, deeper, the dark jet black of his feathers. Like charcoal, deep gray irises just sort of regard you as he sort of turns his head side to side. A long pointed beak, very crow-like, just sort of holds the dagger, looks at it back and forth, holds it between his hands. I guess my greed got the better of me with this one. I was not expecting that, but see, doesn't really matter now, does it? You haven't moved. You're still in the house. And it's a pleasure to have you as a guest.
And who are you? Still at the ready.
Yep. He does not seem phased at your great sword in this
Makes
room.
sense. I need small mouse, giant Corvum, right?
Yeah. He takes the dagger and just kind of lets it fall behind him as he puts one hand behind his own back. You know, I'm a little offended that you don't know me, but I guess that's one thing that my father did right. But I don't think I'm quite ready to monologue yet. So why don't you just sit here and wait, and we'll come get you when we're done.
We? You said we, like we'll come get you, right? Okay, so he asked we?
You see the Corvum's eyes. Birds do not have facial muscles. They cannot smile or grin, but you see the Corvum's eyes almost light up with a hunger. You see the irises deepen. And he just kind of gives a little bow. Enjoy your stay, Basil. The shadows of the room just sort of darken, the light fighting to stay bright as he backs up one step to the edge of the wall, fully engulfed in shadow, and you see the shadows almost grab his form and fall to the floor.
Hmm.
And the Corvum is gone. You see your dagger left in the room.
Okay. That's not how I thought it would play out. Okay, cool.
There no doors in this room?
Sir Basil will still hand on a sword, walk up and pick up his dagger. And then can I I guess, inspect the room, like just looking around, like, am I like legitimately just trapped in a box?
Yeah, for this one, go ahead and make an investigation check if you are taking more of a time than just eyes darting around to actually look over this room.
10.
And you kind of rub your hands along the floor, along the walls. I would say with a jump, because you're a Gerbine, you can like scrape at the ceiling, the 5-foot ceiling. It appears to be a square room with no doors, no windows,
Yeah.
no holes. Doesn't appear to be a way in or a way out.
If I like knock on the walls, do I get a sense of like, oh, this is like a hollow wall? Do I get a sense like it's like do it? Can I find like a weak spot, so to speak?
With the 10, as this is part of your investigation, I'm going to say with a 10 and your knowledge of how Alderheart is built as a city, how it's carved out of the wood of this ancient old growth tree, it's not like you will find a stud or any hollowness or insulation. It is carved out of wood.
Hmm.
There is one step though.
And it's you.
But I guess
I will say the one thing that you'll also notice, because it is obvious, the rings of the tree, no matter where you are, whatever building you're in, the hotel you stayed at, the market, you do see the rings of Alderheart, the rings of this tree, the knots in the wood. That is something with this very dim light that you're able to see. But with a 10, it is a noticing that they are there. They are in existence. So best guess is you haven't gone anywhere unfamiliar.
yeah. So even knowing that, based on what potentially Evie revealed, that like I'm still in the Zogma house, which was like worn down. I wouldn't be able to like discern that I could like bust out. I'm just stuck potentially in the tree.
You can certainly try.
Oh, what would Sir Basil do?
Hulk mode, Hulk mode, Hulk mode. Punch a hole through the wall.
Will Hulk Basil fit in that room?
Whoa, I didn't even think about that.
Well, I mean, so I would
Mode, all mode.
I would go from a small creature to like a large creature. So I would. I might be like hunched over,
Like when you see a tall guy driving a really small car.
Yes,
kind of a situation like
like
that.
6'2" in a Fiat.
Hmm. How do I want to play this?
If you want a chance to think about it, we can sneak back to the other group and give you an opportunity to just think there, Basil.
Sure, let's do that.
So we sneak back to the other group. So 11 o'clock, 11:30 rolls by into the Golden Galleon Inn. The buffet that is forever at this hotel and just switches foods is still in motion. You are, for reference, in the Canopy Market, so one of the upper rings. The only things above you are the council chambers, the bows, and as Elle does know, Aurora's neighborhood, Aurora's household above you. The shops have been closed in the Canopy Market. Things are starting to die down here, but the soft glow of the wood itself, the tree itself, is keeping enough light for you to at least peer outside to see any final passerbys in the Canopy Market. What are the rest of you doing?
I like anticipate that this late in the evening, Mrs. Q is probably like putting her nightcap on and like putting some, what's the cream that like old ladies just put on their face before they go to bed?
Uh,
You know, and,
Georgina,
like, put it-
Nivea,
Vaseline.
Vaseline.
up with those wrinkles, you know.
Yeah.
I just doing the bedtime routine, but like I don't like my grandmother used to do this. She would be like have her hair in whatever, but then she'd like go out and like sit and watch her like soaps or like have another cup of tea before going to bed. So I anticipate that Mrs. Q is doing something like this. She's like all ready in her like nightie. She puts on her nightgown and like goes to have like a night cup of tea or something in the downstairs or with her
You
friends.
can, you can see in like the little restaurant area, there's like one slam poet still there trying to keep a crowd, and it's just like not the best, but not the worst entertainment you've seen.
Yeah, like Wednesday night, Thursday night.
Correct, yeah. Midweek. Apoc, Aurora Elle.
You would have saw Apoc like pick up a silver quill off the ground, probably one that like just shed it naturally, and goes to a corner, dips it into his ink bottle, and just like starts sketching. Um, Weird little devices, I guess, from like a glance that you guys could see wherever you are in the room. One of them being like a larger version of the propeller hat that he saw earlier that day, almost like mimicking a very poor helicopter design. Scattered drawings. Another one being like a weird, similar to like, I don't know, like a very primitive jetpack type thing. Just all these like poorly done flying apparati. That's what he's doing right now, just kind of tinkering with thoughts and coming up with ideas.
Aurora Elle.
Go ahead, Elle.
Elle probably still had so much energy from like the fun night out she had. So I think she would have sat with Aurora for a little bit in her room, but honestly would just be jumping on the bed, being kind of annoying the whole time. Before going back to the room and probably seeing Apoc drawing and coloring, which she loves, and she'll probably sit with him and like take out her crayons and start like adding color to the things she knows, like the fire coming out of like a rocket, or just like adding things to his doodles. And she'll just kind of be like, wow, what a great night. Like nothing could go wrong, and just drawing away.
I've been making these for so long. I could have used an artist for some of the earlier blog posts. These are way better.
What's a blog?
You don't know what a blog is?
Nope.
It's short for a borlog, but I mean, I'm surely you've heard of me before. You haven't seen these around?
Was there a couple of them around Marshview?
Yeah, they were down south. That's where most of them were. Marshview was south, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. I only got to wander around the woods when Master Wayra was sleeping. During the day, or at night, just her usual like 3 or 4 naps. She's pretty old.
Naps.
Well, I mean, I if you want to work, I could start putting your name on them too, like a little like. Do you have a sign or something? I mean, I usually sign them myself because it's just me putting them up, but I kind of post them around and they're like ideas of inspiration for travelers if you want to make something.
Well, with the ones that I color, I could just put a big L on them.
Okay, maybe not a big L.
A medium-sized L?
Yeah, like in the corner.
Okay, she'll start going, but like recognizing that Avon didn't like that idea, she'll make them like relatively tiny.
You know, if you have ideas, you can put them up too.
I keep all my ideas in this book, and she's gonna pat like the 2 books that she keeps underneath her wings. They're top secret.
Can I see?
No,
Why not?
I just said they're top secret.
Yeah, but we're friends, right?
Mm, yeah, but they're still top secret. She'll like reluctantly take like one out, open one page,
Yeah.
be like, I'm only showing you one thing. And what you see is more just like the middle of like a YA novel, but with like illustrations of like a Luma that doesn't not look like Elle, doing like all kinds of adventures and like saving people and like swinging a sword.
Oh,
She lets you, and then she like slams it shut and puts it away.
What was her name?
Elle?
Is that you?
Maybe? I don't know. I was always told that I'd have adventures, but for a long time nothing happened, so I kind of just had to make up my own stories. So this is what I thought maybe that I'll end up doing.
Cool. Do they come true? Are these like things that you've done in the past or things that you want to do in the future?
I may have drawn some inspiration from some of the things that we've done, but all fictional characters and their likeness are not necessarily related to anyone in the real world.
That's awesome. Wow. You're gonna have to show us some of those later. I'm sure the group would love to see them too.
Maybe. She's gonna open the book again and flip to one that has a picture of like everyone, the current group in it, and she's looking at Aurora and Mrs. Q and Apoc and Elle and Basil. And she's gonna look at me like, wait, where's Basil? Is he with Mrs. Q watching her soaps?
No, I thought he was with you.
Apoc, we're the only ones in this room.
I thought everybody was in this room.
How many rooms did we get?
Aurora wanted her own room.
Okay.
Classic D&D.
Oh my god.
I feel like everyone else was in the same room.
I think
I thought so too. I thought I grabbed one of your quills.
Wait, you took your quill that you're drawing with from Mrs. Q?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be like improvising. She sheds every now and then.
I beg your pardon. A woman never sheds. Woman hedgehog, I mean.
she's just like trying to go over quills down, like.
Yeah.
I have my nose on. A giant like shower cap that covers like all my quills. I look like a mushroom.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, love it.
With the lotion all over
Yeah,
her
with the
face.
lotion on my face and
Oh man.
The charcoal
TV,
mask.
no TV,
Yeah, charcoal mask.
watching a bar of soap because
Wait,
there's
so-
no soaps.
Did Sir Basil tell you where he was going? Or where he is?
No,
No? I don't know.
Elle's gonna get up and go run to Aurora's room and just start banging on the door. Hello! Just yelling.
Occupied.
So before this knock on the door, Aurora, was there anything you were doing while this conversation
You
went
know
on?
what?
And we'll
Let's-
jump back to you, Elle.
I will just jump into where I was in the process of doing stuff. As a,
There
like,
we go.
I cracked the door open just a little bit and like peek out with my eyes. What is it?
Is Sir Basil in there with you?
No, no, he's not. Oh, shouldn't he be in with you guys?
He's not.
Cool. Well, let me know when you find him. Maybe tomorrow morning.
Wait, we can't leave him alone overnight.
No, but I'm kind of busy right now.
What are you doing?
And she's got 3 laptops.
None of your nothing I want to share with you right now. Can you just give me a moment? And I like close the door and you hear like a click click lock. So you hear like ripping and tearing to come back up, and I crack the door open a little bit more so I can see you, and I've clearly got like a bed sheet covering my body.
Okay, okay.
I'm curious to know what Elle, as a 12-year-old, thinks is going on.
Well, she does have 2 older siblings, so.
It's like, are you playing dress up? No, no.
Pillow fort.
Can you give me like an hour and a half?
Oh, that's a long time to do something, but okay, maybe we'll start going to look for him.
Okay, I close the door and like lock it.
What was Aurora in the middle of doing?
I guess so. At this point, what I'll say, I'll leave it at this. Elle, what you could see is that I was alone in the room, or at least from the door, the little crack that was open. You could see that I had all of my, basically all of my, like spell components and like basically all of the things that I would use for different, like my tarot cards, my hourglass, all spread out in a big circle in the middle of the room. And I had just up on like the little desk in the hotel room, you could see that book was open. And then I would say next to the book, you could see the axe that I had from Basil.
All right. She was tracking things up until that point.
So, all right, let me know when you find him. And I close the door and lock it.
Elle's gonna run back to the room with Mrs. Q and Apoc.
Find him?
No, Aurora's doing something with an axe, and she wouldn't come out. She said she needs an hour and a half, so I don't know what could take so long.
She's sharpening it?
Maybe.
Huh. I mean, it's a city, right? He's probably fine.
Do you think he went to stay with his family?
I don't know if I know he has family here.
No, you would have. You guys were all at his family home at one point.
I don't think all of you were at the family home.
It was
It
just
was
Cam.
Basil, Cam, Mrs. Q, and I don't think you were there either, Elle.
No, but I think she would have gathered that he has family here, having met his sisters at the ADM.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is
Okay.
you would know that there's family here. You two just wouldn't know where.
Yeah.
Mrs. Q would.
Probably. I mean, the first thing I did when I got here was try to find Cam because I thought he was around.
What? You did?
Yeah, I don't think he's here, but I think you know that Petra, this super saucy lady?
Oh,
I
your
think she-
girlfriend.
No, not girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend?
She could be an axe-girlfriend.
Elle just starts thinking about the axe that Aurora has in the room and gets
So much going on
further
right now.
confused.
Yeah, she's around, but I think she's looking for Cam too. Different problem though. Let's worry about the immediate thing.
I feel like Basil would have told us if we shouldn't expect him home.
Mrs. Q, do you know where Basil's family is?
I think Mrs. Q would know where it is.
So you've been there.
Yeah, because I've been there. Yeah, we could go. We could go check in with his family, make sure he's okay.
Do you still feel like going out this evening? You look wonderful, but I'm just wondering.
Yes. Mrs. Q is quite content to go out in her nightie, if it means finding her friend. She puts down her bar of soap that she's been staring at. Puts on her.
Noxema. Noxema's the cream.
There you go.
It came to me. Sorry.
She puts on her outside.
Maybe, Apoc, could you send Jeremy to go check if Sir Basil's with his family?
I don't. Jeremy's only. I don't know if he's familiar with much of this city.
Oh.
I don't even know where they are.
Oh.
I have. Hang on. Because I have a spell for messengers. There it is.
Yeah, I could find something of his if he's nearby. I might be able to find where Sir Basil is. Sorry, that was a struggle.
We got there.
Yeah. I mean, if he's within 1,000 feet, I might be able to pick him up.
Do we have something of his?
I don't need it. I mean, something that's unique to him though. Like his sword is pretty unique, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. All right, give me a shot. You just see like Apoc close his eyes and just start like focusing. You see like the fur on his skin just start to like stand on end as he tries to get a sense of Basil's magic sword.
Locate object.
Locate object. If it's within 1,000 feet and not behind, the spell can't locate an object if any thickness of lead, even a thin sheet, blocks a direct path between you and the object.
Okay. All right. So as you get all prickly, hair standing on end, 1,000 feet is about 300 meters.
Yeah.
You are in a massive
Oh, I know.
tree.
Yep.
You get nothing.
I can't pick it up.
Okay. I could send a messenger to his family home to see if they know anything.
And how long does that take?
11 p.m. at night.
What's that?
Is it quick?
Well, that depends on the animal that I use to message. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
I can use a tiny beast, such as a squirrel, blue jay, or bat. So, Mrs. Hughes sticks her head out the window. I know, but Basil's missing.
Yeah, so I can't tell you how to play it. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're
Yeah.
not there, Basil. No pigeoning here.
Would we remember how far it is to just get to their house? Like if we went, as opposed to sending an animal messenger?
So you would remember where it is, Mrs. Q. You are at one of the top rings, and Basil's family was in.
It's by the trunk market, right?
It was by the trunk market. It was in a suburb type neighborhood called. Can't remember what it's called off the top. But it's not far from the trunk market. So taking one of the grand elevators that are in the city would bring you right down to the ring you need. And then it's just like a short walk, essentially like taking, a 10-minute walk from the bus stop kind of thing. So it wouldn't take you necessarily very long. It is like 11:45 at night, but it wouldn't take you any longer than trying to send an animal messenger.
Okay.
The Bright Hollows is the neighborhood you're looking for.
What time is this? Like You know how like when you go to Italy, everyone's still out at 11:45. What's the night like? When do people go to bed?
Yeah, so from your experience here, I mean, you do know that, well, first and foremost, you did meet Basil's family, and you know that Basil's parents are old. They're a little on the frail side, but you do know that Lavender, Basil's sister, is there. And you do know that Arna, the maid, nurse, helper, was there. You don't know if she lives there or not, but you know she's been there to help out Lavender. You also know that the canopy market, the richer market, does close at a more reasonable time, but the trunk market, which is more like a bazaar kind of day and night, all times, depending on the stall, you know that that's a little more bumping, a little more lively. And as you get closer into the underfall, the roots, there are spots of like you have that one karaoke bar that you visited, Kariga's bar, that is farther or a little closer to the bright. You forgot about Kariga's. A little closer to the bright hollows that is like open a little bit later, even on a Wednesday. So there are the area you're in is quite dead because it is more of a gated community. I don't know what best to equate it to, but it's more of that like upper ring quieter. But the trunk market is where things are happening around that area. So it's not out of the ordinary for it to still be bumping on a Wednesday night. But as for who's awake at Basil's house, that's the best guess.
Okay. I don't think there's any other method or way that I could figure out anything about him, where he is.
As the group is trying to talk this through, Aurora, did you want to step in at all, or would you like to keep your happenings under wraps for a bit?
I think I'll keep it under wraps, but when it does tick over to midnight, I think there would be some, like, I think that's when the spell is gonna climax, and you might hear some of it. But what?
What does it sound like?
I don't know. It's pretty guttural. You okay there?
You're gonna kill Steph.
Be like,
I'm fine.
like deep wailing from beyond the like it wouldn't be coming from the hotel. It'd be coming from like the air outside, kind of like permeating into the house or into the building.
Interesting.
Okay. So between the 11:45 as discussions are still going on to 12 o'clock, starting to hear this guttural wailing on the wind outside of the hotel. As the group tries to decide what to do, and Aurora finishes or starts her.
I think all the candles would go out if there are any candles that are lit.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Love it. We will flip back over to Basil.
Mhm.
Bro, we need to figure this out because we were indecisive.
Yeah. Okay. So once this courtroom has left, does that mean that the light has left the room as well? So I'm in darkness, or
You do see this light. It's almost like shrunk in on itself. It's very much a dull flashlight kind of thing. So it's a small little amber orb that's just enough for you to see the general gist of the room. So being able to see that it's small, being able to see the rings of the tree, it doesn't move. It kind of hangs near the top center of the room. And if you go to try and touch it, it's not something you can grab. It's just kind of existing in that space.
okay,
It's
so it's not,
dim.
but I'm not sitting in pure darkness.
You're not sitting in pure darkness. It's not the most comfortable thing, but it's not pure dark.
And seeing that it's only a 5-foot room with night vision, like I'm comfortable in this room. I'm not like, where is everything? Or feeling.
If
Yeah.
anything, the softness of the light, because it is kind of it's almost like a living sort of shifting thing. You see the shadow of the chair kind of move side to side as the light sort of shifts. And it gives you almost a. You can see fine with dark vision, but it is eerie.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna play this kind of a little boring, but realizing that he's trapped in this room, I'll go with my original investigation. Um, Feeling like he really wants to see this, like he wants to learn more about who this character is. If this character has something to do with the Zogma family, he's like even more piqued just because of his history with the Zogma family. So he is going to, um, I'll say, still on one side of the room. So, like from his vantage point, he can see like everything in the room, and I guess potentially, even though something could come out of the shadows behind him, but he'll sit or kneel on one side of the room and try and just preserve his strength because he knows it's late. He's just gonna sit there with his sword on his lap, and he's just gonna like with his eyes closed, just like grip his sword and just like be listening. And he's just gonna be like concentrating slash meditating in that position for as long as it takes.
Okay, so he's just gonna wait it out.
He's yeah. So I'm uh I'm describing that scene, but he's like trying to attune to his new sword. That just
I love it. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So attunement does take an hour to attune to the sword.
So who knows how long he'll be in there, but he's just going to use that time
Okay,
to
so
and also concentrate.
yeah, no, I love it. I love the way you described that. That was great. Um, as you are attuning to this sword, and as you are, ears open, kind of half focused on the sword, half focused on just trying to be aware of anything that might come at you in this room. I would like another perception check from you as you are listening over the course of an hour.
Okay. And all these things are like I'm like -1 and so much. That's a one.
Oh, your hour goes by.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we'll jump back to the other group. If anybody wants to do anything at any point, just jump in, but I'm going to try and keep jumping back and forth. So back to the other group as you are all chit-chatting around, trying to figure out, first of all, where Basil is, if it's good or bad, and what to do about it if it's bad. The candles in the hotel all go out for those of you who are together. So Apoc, Elle, and Mrs. Q. And you start to hear on the winds kind of almost pressing into the walls itself. A screaming, a whistling, as Aurora described before, and I forgot the words.
What's it sound like?
No, you do it. This is your spell. In the middle of any sentence or anything, any thought that you had, this shift in the environment kind of overtakes the room with the three of you as the clock strikes midnight.
Primeval awareness.
Primeval awareness?
Yeah. Are there any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead within a mile of me?
Is this what you told me about before, Eric?
The answer would be yes, and you detect undead.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So I don't know location or number, but holy fuck, guys, something undead is nearby. Whatever that was. I think Basil might have to wait.
Mrs. Q, you see from where she is that she like lights the candles again in the room. But they're all pink. Um, did we hear a direction for the screaming, or was it just like surround sound?
Aurora's nodding to surround sound.
Okay.
Hey, I have another idea. Locate object, but I want to locate a bone. If it's undead, is there a bone nearby?
I do you need to specify a specific bone?
The spell can locate a specific object known to you. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon.
Huh.
So I'm just
So you're just trying to locate a bone?
yeah, fuck, this is such a stupid idea. Realizing the fall. God damn it.
I'll let you take the spell back.
No. Where's the nearest bone?
I mean, like, you get you're made of bone.
Apoc didn't realize that.
You
Yeah, yeah.
you're made of bone. You
Yeah.
get hangs from everybody.
Just the nearest one.
Yourself.
Your eye socket.
Yeah.
Your skull.
Might not have been the brightest idea.
Oh, buddy.
This is you realizing that because Elle had said that Aurora was by herself in her room, goes and knocks on Aurora's door to see if she's okay. She takes her little candle with her. You haven't seen her in her nighttime getup, so I feel like Aurora might be a little freaked out, but like a pink-hued mushroom hedgehog.
You're not going alone. We're coming with you.
Okay.
You do see, like, as you go out, like, other people are poking their heads out the doors, kind of confused, and a couple other people are knocking on someone else's door, same as you.
So I'll come to the door and I'll open it up. But what you see in front of you, has anybody seen like the movie Carrie? So like I'm just covered head to toe in blood, holding an axe in my hand, wearing nothing but the bed sheet around me that I ripped off the bed to come see the door. Guys, I did it. I brought Maitland back.
Oh my god.
What?
Let me introduce my brother's here, and you see as I like step out of this outside of this, standing in the middle of the circle of all my different spell. I can't think of the name. Spell focuses. In the center, you see a pile of servitor skeleton bones that I collected from the avium, but you see them standing, kind of upright in the middle next to me, and just kind of looking around. It's like, it's Maitland. He's back. He might not be able to talk, but he's here. He can kind of move on his own. You can kind of see him start to move. So I have brought Maitland's soul back into this servitor skeleton that I've been keeping with me.
I can't remember, like, in character or out of character. Have we heard you've mentioned Maitland before? We've just never seen him.
Oh no, he's been dead for a while, and well, if you see the magic that's been flittering around me, that's largely his help, and I've been trying to find a way to bring him back, and I've done that now. Hey, I'm all excited. Hey, this is awesome. Again, just like covered in blood, just kind
Why
of
are you
giggling.
covered in blood?
Well, it's part of the ritual, and the spell required some blood, and you can see like wounds on my hands where like I carved into my hands a little bit. I needed to use some flesh, and I didn't want to like take from anybody that was like I didn't want to just so I used my own flesh to bring him back. But yeah, he's here. Isn't this great?
Incredible.
Oh, anyways, what's up, guys? Well, why are you guys still up? Mrs. Q, I love the little outfit. Does that stuff keep you looking as young as you usually do? Is that your secret?
Yes.
Where
my secret.
Where do you buy that stuff? I need to get some for myself, and I need to rinse off.
Yes, I think you do. And I make it myself.
All right, new quest. Um, hey, sorry, not to pull away from like what's going on.
All of the candles just went out.
Oh,
Was that you?
that would probably be yeah when I completed the spell and pulled him from the afterlife into this body. It's just kind of like lingering energy that spilled out from the spell.
Knew I sensed it undead.
Yeah, he is technically a skeleton.
How do you know it's him and not something else?
It could be something else.
Uh, Pretty sure it's him.
How do you know?
Uh, Maitland, and you see the skeleton pop up, looking towards me. Come here, and kind of runs over and scooches up and like rubs his like little bird skull head against my side. See?
Can you talk?
No, not yet.
Gosh, this was a risky spell to do by yourself in a hotel room.
No, it's
Basil's not in there, is he?
Basil. No, Basil's not in here. No, not at all.
We can't find him.
Oh, he said he was going. No, he didn't say he was going anywhere. He lent me the axe and then kind of left him to the room with you guys.
We haven't heard from him, and it's almost midnight. Oh no, it is midnight.
Um, hmm. Can maybe try and see where he is. Um,
During this time, Elle's gonna be kind of quiet because Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but the skeleton you described is bird-like.
yeah.
Okay. So Elle's just gonna kind of keep looking over, and she's heard Aurora talk about her brother earlier. And while she's pretty freaked out, she can recognize that this is pretty important to her. So she's gonna like kind of shuffle a little closer and talk to Maitland to say, "Hi,
It'll.
my name's Elle, and Aurora says we're about the same age.
And he like starts like jumping up and down a little bit.
Do you want to draw with me?" And we're gonna just go sit down, and Elle's gonna pull out her papers and like just kind of present them and see what happens.
Yeah. It'll run over and grab a piece of chalk, one of my spell components, and like start drawing in chalk just on the floor. It has no concept of like in a page or anything. It'll just draw next to you on whatever surface is there.
Well, Elle's just gonna start drawing on the floor too, because you can't be mad at both of us. So I'll just start.
Whole room is a Montana.
Just lost your deposit on this hotel room.
Yeah.
Yes. We're gonna just start drawing.
Do you have any idea where Basil has gone to? I can try and find him.
We had thought to try his parents' place. He has family in the city. We thought maybe he's there, or maybe they might know where he went.
Yeah. I can try something. And I walk over to the circle and I pick up just one of my foci, and in a second you see my eyes go white again, just covered in blood, and my eyes go white, and I'd like to try and cast, if I can, clairvoyance, which lets me see a space within a mile of where we are. However, if I don't know where the location is, I have to it has to be obvious, and I'd like to just say like where Basil is, but I don't know if I can get that specific.
Okay. Just let me read the spell real quick.
Like behind a door, around a corner, in a grove of trees. But like I like to just say like the space over Basil's left ear.
Okay. And you have the material component?
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Scattered on the floor. Yeah.
hold on. Okay, so a mile, I had to go look it up. 1 mile is just over a kilometer and a half.
1.6, baby.
Yeah.
Did
Oh yeah, we did this before.
Yeah.
Did you just Google Maps Elderheart?
No. I couldn't think of the conversion for mile to
Oh.
kilometer. Um, you guys are in a really big tree. I don't know how else to explain it. I think he's outside the kilometer and a half range. He's in a totally other ring. As you try and push through with clairvoyance, it's almost like the image sort of starts to form before kind of dissolving as the spell's distance, your target's distance is just too far.
Guys, he's not anywhere close.
Is the would his parents' place have been included in that distance?
Well, he was specifically looking for the top corner of my ear.
No, I know, but if we would have seen you if you were at your parents' place
Yeah.
within the ring, then
Correct.
we know for sure then you're.
Yeah, based on what you know, but no, you would know that I can send a picture as well. Like you are on one of the top rings. You have the Bow neighborhood. You have the Trunk Market, which takes up a couple layers, and then you have the Bright Hollows, which takes up a couple layers. So you are about 4 layers away in this massive old growth tree. It is far outside the 1.6 kilometers.
So
could we
could we infer that it's at like the base of the tree, whereas like the 1.6 would take up like the top of the tree? Because there's not much more higher.
Yeah.
So you're just talking about
We gotta
what
go down.
Like?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go down, guys. He's if he's even in the tree, he's definitely not up here.
That makes sense. Probably is farther down.
Would he have snuck off for another date with your sister?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but she's up here.
For just a quick reference between the layers, because you can kind of see the like underside of the upper rings in some cases, that is more than a kilometer. Like you are more than a kilometer between rings. Like this tree is huge. It's massive. It's enormous.
Okay.
I guess why don't we all just head down and split up and look for him?
Yeah, okay.
Split the party
Well,
more.
maybe not.
You guys hate me.
Maybe we can go down and try the spell again or try something similar in a different chunk.
Well, you know where his family is, right? You've been there. I could check out Kariga's. I don't know if Elle should be on her own.
What's Kariga's?
What's that?
Elle can go with me.
I mean, Kariga's is a pretty fun place. They got live music. There's some fun people. You can
Do they
sing.
have coffee? Do they have coffee?
No, but I always have coffee.
If you don't mind, I'm going to pull out another piece of my. Basically, I'm cleaning up my circle now as I'm picking up the components, and I get like a what is it? A small piece of copper wire that's just kind of strung out around half of the circle, and as I pull it in and coil it up, Basil, we are wondering where you are. Can't find you. It's late. Can you tell us where you went? It's Aurora, by the way.
This is sending or message?
Sending.
Basil, you hear Aurora's voice in your head.
Oh.
Okay. Ears twitching,
Oh
looking
man, I
around the
can't use
room.
that spell. Whoops.
Would I know that I can communicate back?
Yeah, you've seen Mrs. Q do this a couple times. I'll say, yeah, you're familiar enough.
Mrs. Q again.
Would I know that I'm limited by the number of words?
What's your int score?
-1. 8.
8. Yeah.
It didn't seem like messages were super long, but you never counted how many words you get.
Okay. Um, okay, I'll play into it as like, okay, so he hearing that, like ear switching, he's looking around the room. And as soon as Aurora finishes what she's saying, he's gonna say out loud because he doesn't know it's in his head. He's just gonna say out loud, um, uh, "I'm trapped, House of Zogma. Help!" And what he
You have so many more words than that, though. So you
well
Goose
he
is
doesn't
going to give
he
you
doesn't
one.
know. He's just like, what the heck? Like, I'm trapped, House of Zogma. Um, maybe he would say like in whatever level, help. And that's it.
Okay, that's what comes through.
Um, guys, he just said he's trapped in the House of Zogma. Does anybody know where that is?
So, Aurora, this would actually ring with you
Oh.
as when you were younger, particularly with Vesper. If you would ever go out for walks or play with the neighborhood kids, you would know that that house, the Zogma house, was super haunted.
Oh,
It was creepy. It was cursed.
it's where Basil took my sister for that date. I know where it is. Let's go.
And Basil would have said like it's on this level, like yeah. So you would have a sense of
Yeah.
what to
So
go
the
to.
upper ring.
All right.
Do I have time for a shower?
Elle is gonna cast Gust and just try to blow the blood off of you onto the wall.
Ah!
Oh my
It's
god.
like a bloody outline of Aurora's shape on the wall of this room. Oh my god.
It's like a Rorschach painting.
Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Wait, you gotta do Mrs. Q as well.
I'm gonna do minuscule as well.
No!
Everything just like flies off.
Ooh. Mrs. Q's like holding
Yeah.
down Nighty, so it just
I just imagine it's the blood outline of Aurora, and then the Mrs. Q's face that falls on the face of the thing, you know?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, guys.
Oh man.
Okay.
On that note, let's take a quick couple-minute break. Okay, so we are all back. Let's jump right back in so that we can still end at a decent time on a Tuesday. So picking back up, nice and clean-ish, maybe. Aurora and Mrs. Q, as you are, I guess, with some expediency, starting to make your way up towards the upper ring, the canopy, the council plaza ring. So back into the elevators, back up to the top ring where you do see a presence of perch guard, as this again is their main garrison. You see the council chambers that are closed for the night. And you are able to start making your way to the, with Aurora as your guide in this case.
Ellen, what was something wrong with your tea?
It was either good tea or too hot.
It was way too hot.
Oh,
But I'm also eating a cinnamon bun and my hands are covered in icing, so I'm like, this will be a
Which-
fine idea. Sorry.
It's like she's method acting Elle.
She was holding it like this.
oh.
Then her face is like,
This way, guys, this way.
We are going to jump to Basil quickly to finish off the end of the hour of attunement before you guys get there.
Cool.
About 15 minutes into your attunement is when it would have been later. Yeah, it would have been a bit later, about 45 minutes into your attunement by the time Aurora had sent a message to you. Prior to that, as you were sitting quietly trying to keep an ear out, you did not notice anything with the roll that you got, unfortunately. However, as you are attuning to the sword and sitting in the space, you almost start to feel the space the temperature just kind of dips a few degrees as you become more and more attuned to your sword. There's almost like a thrum of energy. And as the hour concludes, you see that your sword, where once it was just bare blade, is now covered in like frost on a window, like a crackled kind of pattern along the blade of your greatsword.
Cool.
As for the rest of you, as Aurora leads you down the very soft glowing lanterns, there really is no one except for you pass one perch guard patrol as they are just kind of up and down the streets here in Alderheart. They kind of give you a marked look, the same way they gave Basil as he was here 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, where they are remembering the details of your faces as you walk past them in this upper ring.
Sorry, guys, I was just trying to dye my hair. I need to go get something. I gotta get this fixed. It's an emergency nighttime hair job. I gotta go.
They don't question you, rather eyes narrow. And you can hear the armor shift as you pass by to get one. They're memorizing your presence here. They will not forget the one covered in blood.
Quick question before we left. Would Maitland have come with us?
Oh yeah, he's in tow. I haven't gotten
Okay.
dressed yet. I'm still wearing the bed sheet, but I have prioritized getting him dressed.
Okay, I was gonna say if not, Elle would have thrown her cloak over because she understands it. He's a little conspicuous.
What's Maitland wearing?
So if you hadn't noticed, I have a shield for him, some studded leather armor, a little tunic. I've been picking up stuff for Maitland for like the past 10 sessions.
That's awesome.
Do you need bird feathers?
I think I have one left.
If you need a few, I've got some.
We'll figure that out. Basil's in trouble.
Wait, all right, we can do this later, but just let's chat about this.
Basil's in trouble, but I had time to dress the skeleton.
You always have time for arts and crafts.
Yeah, I feel like I was doing that before you guys walked in. Is what I'm.
Fair.
So let's go, let's go.
Yeah. You do end up with Aurora's guidance and Maitland clinking along in tow. Yeah, this is new for all of you. None of you were there. None of you have passed by this. First and foremost, Aurora and Elle, you pass by Aurora's household. So Elle once more passing by you were here a couple hours ago. But continuing down that curving block, you see this cryptic, sad facade of a mansion. Like all of the homes here, it is built slightly out of the tree itself, but not everything is built into the outer trunk of Alderheart. Mrs. Q, your cortisol immediately goes up as you see the overgrown planters and the overgrown garden in front, in between the like kind of off kilter, like waist height wrought iron gate. You see like window shutters that are almost just boarded up with essentially like planks of wood, but the planks of wood look like they are kind of grown out of the facade of the house. Nothing has been added to this opposed to shaped from the wood itself. But care has not been taken in this home for years. And as you stand out here, Aurora, you do, you almost get some memories of your childhood, and a spike of not as much fear as you once had, being a bit more into the arcane and the necromantic area of magic. But you remember the tales of this house being cursed.
Guys,
tales I'm missing.
I pull out my tarot deck and I draw a card. Guys, there's tales from this house. Specifically, that there was someone here that lived in the house that could be very persuasive and kind of luring people in under the promise of power or protection. And you kind of lose yourself in the false promises. So be careful.
Thanks for the warning.
Primeval
awareness.
Yeah.
What's that again?
Celestial, fae, fiend, undead. Oh man, what else? Sorry, I gotta pull it back up again. Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, undead.
Within a mile?
A mile.
Well, you get undead.
Yeah, this really throws off my game.
You don't get anything else.
Okay. Yeah, there's undead around, but we're gonna have to talk about this one.
Okay. Basil.
Yep.
Inside the house, you have no idea what time it is. The light has not changed. The shadows still flicker. And you do hear a soft thump. Can't quite pick the direction, but you do hear something. And you start to hear some muffled voices that get a little bit louder before turning back to quiet. I'm gonna have you make one more perception check for me.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, Annie.
Okay. That's one again.
A one again?
For real?
-1.
Yeah. Hard to tell what these sounds are, hard to tell where they're coming from, but at the very least, there is activity.
Okay. It's just very thick walls, guys. Oh gosh.
Is there anything you want to do, Basil, before I flip back to the other group? You've been alone in this room for enough time that your sword now feels belonging to you.
Yeah. What would I do? You know, with that roll, just hearing noise, he probably wouldn't think that it's anything of note. He's still just going to stand at the ready, but he might be just gripping his sword a little like tighter, you know?
Okay. All right, the four of you outside. Getting a ping from undead outside this house, outside the gate. What do you do?
We need some kind of plan to go inside. Presumably, he's been trapped in there by somebody.
Usually it would be him kicking down the door and leading us in there, so someone's got to step up.
Mrs. Q walks up to the front door and looks for a doorbell.
You look for a doorbell. You do see a door knocker. It's electricity isn't a thing here. You see this like wrought door knocker. It's got like a talon holding on to it, but it's kind of like off kilter. Part of the knuckle of one of the talons is broken off, but it does still look to be, for all intents and purposes, functional.
Do I knock first? She asks the others.
Apoc kicks it down.
Drink check.
This is not good. 11.
11?
Yeah. This isn't his forte.
Apoc kicks it. How do you kick it?
Yeah. And he makes that noise.
It actually does sound like the wood groans and cracks as the door is just a smidge open.
Try it again. As you have guidance cast upon you.
Oh, jeez.
12.
You have opened the door. It sounds like old plywood when you go to break it in half. There is like a ripping, I guess, a ripping of wood, if that makes sense. But with the 12, it's enough to crack, and the door just kind of like creaks open just enough. The two French double doors.
Apoc looks around and all he says is, "There's nothing more than I like than hunting plants than it is hunting undead." And then he just walks in.
Earmuffs, Maitland.
Yeah, Elle's gonna whisper to Maitland, he doesn't actually mean it.
I chose my new favorite enemy before I knew you were going to bring an undead back to life.
Oh, that's good. 10 out of 10. Right. So Apoc walks in.
Mrs. Q walks in behind him, brandishing her crochet hook. And
Nice.
Okay. I take it Aurora walks
Yeah.
in as well.
Yeah.
And
I got
Elle?
Yeah, we're all going in.
In front of you, you step onto your foot immediately sinks as you step onto a rug. Steph is shaking her head and I'm nervous. There is a little bit of light coming from the street, and what you can see is what once was a very beautiful, ornate space. You see a staircase that has a few of the pickets missing. It's a little lopsided, this beautiful, these scrolling columns that reach from the floor to the vaulted ceiling. Some parts seem to be crumbling. And the carpet under you is a sort of deep burgundy maroon, sort of a maroon color. You do see on either side of you doorways, tall, very ornately, almost. If you think of the way gargoyles adorn the top of like flying duchesses, I think is what they're called. This is more of a mural that's been carved into the wood itself. Again, very ornate, very similar to what Aurora's home looks like. Elle and Aurora being the only ones who have seen this. On either side of the entrance where you are, you see doorways. And as you take one more step in, it looks like the stairway leads to a upper floor. You can kind of see at the top like a few glints of something shinier up at the top, almost like a tapestry or like a threading. But they disappear into the ceiling, essentially. There is an upper floor beyond the ceiling of this room. As you are looking around, just kind of taking in your bearings, is there anything you're doing in the immediate?
I'd like to cast a bunch of spells.
Okay.
First of all, I'm going to take my staff and tap Maitland, and it's going to start to shimmer around him, and you can kind of start to see Maitland going a little blurry as I cast blur on him. And I also want to cast Veil of Darkness over him, so he goes dark and blurry around. So he's safe. He's good.
Got it.
And then I'd also like to cast See Invisibility.
See Invisibility. Okay. Let me just pull it up because I want.
So I'll be back here, guys. We're all good.
Okay. Okay, so there are a couple things that are going to happen.
Okay, well, before this, I've cast bark skin on myself.
Apoc might be casting something as well.
Okay. Mrs. Q?
Apoc's gonna cast Pass Without a Trace in the group. You see a veil led by Jeremy dissipate over the feet of everyone, and your footsteps all just suddenly just disappear as no trace is made.
Jeremy's just got a broom.
Pretty much, Jeremy's sweeping up behind everyone.
Yeah.
Basil, quick question. What's your armor class?
14.
Nice. All right, Maitland's our tank.
Okay.
Oh, mine's 16 now, but I'm really still really squishy.
As the first that everyone does stepping into the... Sorry, Steph?
I'm just laughing at the 12-year-olds being like the tanky ones.
Still a little bit tankier, but...
As the first instinct of the majority of your party is to cast off these spells, the moment Aurora lets her first spell go, the light from behind you from the street vanishes as you hear the doors click closed. As you all finish casting your spell, it is pitch black in here now. But I'll allow you all to finish casting your spell, but you do not see anything. What you do notice, someone's passive perception is, yeah. What you do notice, and you can almost feel it, Aurora, actually you would feel it. Rumbling through your feet, you almost feel the floor shift just a little bit.
Nobody step on Jeremy.
But you don't see anything in the pitch blackness. What do you guys do?
Basil.
Like, it's dark. You can't see your hand in front of your face.
Mrs. Q tries to use her thaumaturgy cantrip to make the door open again. If it's not locked, she could open it.
So you turn. You can't see. It's dark in here now. You really can't see anything. You go to try and use your thaumaturgy to open the door. Nothing works. Nothing happens.
Uh-oh. Okay. Not great. Mrs. Q, gosh, would she have is it normal to carry a candle? Like, is that something that people would have in their packs?
You were holding candles when we left to go to Aurora's.
Right. I relight my candle with
Okay.
my spells.
You, with my spells. You relight your candle, Mrs. Q, and it's enough to shed a little bit of light around the group of you. As you turn to look at where the door was, you see a wall of wood. Smooth to the touch. Door is gone.
Guys, the door's gone. Does it look like there's any other windows or anything? Or are we also now in a room of
As you move your candle around, the rug is still there. You can kind of take a couple steps. You still see the room around you as it was. And yeah, you still see the room around you as it was. Nothing has changed with the exception of the door is gone.
Do I see the door as being gone? Like it's not I guess invisibility wouldn't do that.
Oh, sorry, you're see invisibility. I totally forgot. I'm so sorry, Eric. With see invisibility,
Can I see?
you
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. You see as you turn as you do a full 360, you see at the top of the stairs, almost tucked under where it disappears to an upper floor, a very small little glowing beacon. You also see as you turn to look around, although you can't tell what it is, there does appear to be something else turning behind you, so where the door once was. There appears to be something else near the very top of the ceiling, but it's hard to make out what it is at this point. It's just something glowing.
We're not alone in this room.
Where are they?
Top of the stairs, above the door, small little specks. Traps, maybe?
Can you show me exactly? I'll take a shot.
Not creatures, but and I sidle up next to you because it's really dark, and I try and I grab like the top of your hand and point up towards, and like I kind of just like cup your back as I like line you up. Not like that. It's just like to position you for shooting your arrow.
All right, Apoc draws a bead and fires with Aurora's guidance.
And I whisper in your ear, take true aim.
All right.
Guidance.
You go ahead. You are firing at the one at the top of the stairs. Is that correct?
Yeah, Apoc's also like heart racing because I don't think he's ever been this close to Aurora before.
Well, it's pitch black. You can't see anything. I have to.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll. Not
16 plus.
Yeah. You go to shoot your arrow, you see nothing.
Yeah.
Aurora, you see this go straight through that little bead of light that you can see and stick into the wall behind it.
You hit it, but no effect.
Huh.
Must be something else.
Is it magic?
Probably. Mrs. Q, do you have any more candles?
No. Do I?
You can have as many candles as you like.
Yes, I have.
Not stickler for this.
I pull out a candle that's in the shape of an acorn
Perfect.
to you, and I put on another one that's the shape of a pine cone. And I give that to whoever's next to me. And then I pull out another one that's in the shape of a
Walnut.
oh no, a chestnut, but with the spiky still on it. These are these are not good shapes for them. Like
Not at all.
No.
really bad shape for a candle, but this is what I have.
Okay, Apoc's got fire resistance, so whatever one is the hardest to hold, he'll take.
Perfect.
Then you can take the spiky one.
I'll take the spiky one.
Basil. Sir Basil.
Basil. Although I'm gonna roll with your 2 nat ones in a row. Well, 2 ones in a row.
I know. Garbage.
You
And
you don't hear Aurora calling out for you.
Mm.
However, you do hear a voice in your own head. Basil. So Basil. Your friends came to play, Basil. Right on time. Go join them, will you? And you hear a soft click in the room. There is almost like a panel, like one of the knots just sort of clicks. And almost, I don't want to say it dissolves, but turns like a translucent.
Okay.
And you see essentially you're looking at your friends, your party, candles being distributed by Mrs. Q across the way. As in, you are looking towards them and towards where the door was, although you can tell there is no door. You're basically looking outwards into this entrance.
Okay.
What do you do?
So just to make sure I'm understanding. So this panel opened, and it's almost like a translucent entryway that I can see through, but they can't see me, correct?
They don't appear close enough to notice such a soft sound in this case.
Okay.
But you can see them. You can see them. You can see your friends for the first time you can see out of this room in the time that you've been here.
Can I quickly try and like exit through this? Okay. I exit, and as I'm running towards them, yell something like, arm yourselves. We're not alone. And he'll just try and just rush to them. Everyone, arm yourselves.
You guys see Basil rushing to you almost as though he's coming out of the ruined stairway.
ooh.
As he rushes towards you. And I will send you all a map.
Nice. Basil, by the way, this is my brother. His name is Maitland.
There's no time for this. I should have brought you here. I'm so sorry. And he'll just be like, he's just like at the ready for anything.
He's about
And he's
12. Oh, here we go.
I want to see your APOC. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to see on your screen what shows up because this took far too much work. Can you back up?
What? This is it.
Okay, good. That is it. Correct.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, okay.
Don't need notes anymore.
Is everyone? Oh yeah, I can see.
We got two Aurora
We got
Winters.
two Aurora Winters.
What?
Steph, are you in?
I'm just typing in the URL and then I'm trying to.
Oh.
Oh, well, you need WhatsApp Web.
Yeah, I'm not gonna force that on my internet.
Okay. As Elle joins, there she is. So as Elle joins, this is where you find yourself. With the light of Mrs. Q's candles so far, you see the ruined staircase, the pillars. I might as well point them out. These guys here are all pillars.
Mm.
And upwards. The ceiling is vaulted. It's about like 30 feet in this vaulted ceiling. Probably even more than that, I think. And it is very dimly lit. This here is an upper floor. It's almost like an open to below, but you do see pickets missing from where there once was an ornate kind of carved railing. And along this wall is where you start to see like glinting, like tapestries, like paintings. Basil,
Mhm.
know for a fact those paintings were not there before. This house was empty when you came to search it.
Okay.
And Aurora, just for your sake, in this area here, this is kind of where the corner disappears to above. That's where you saw the
Okay.
little.
So Basil's gonna like still with the sword out, tell everyone to like huddle group up, like back to back, kind of just like alert, and he'll say that something has changed with this house. There is something at work here. Be on your guard. And he'll be just staring like toward the tapestry, just not like looking away.
Are those orbs still there, Aurora?
I think so. Yeah, they're still there.
Mhm.
Maybe them watching us. That's my guess.
As you are all standing back to back at the ready, you hear a gentle kind of creak and a warm light starts to spill out from a gap in this door as it just slightly opens. It lights up kind of the rug on this side. It lights up a little bit of that scrolling along the walls. It's a warm light. It's a friendly light.
Can I? Well, I don't know. Can I investigate the wall behind us? Like, I want to take a look. Is it like it's pure wood and the door is gone, or like, is it possible
Yeah.
that it's just tricking our eye?
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for this as you go and put your hands on this wall. It is smooth.
Mm.
Not unlike, it almost reminds you of the chairs that Aelin had shaped from the tree of from the tree of Alderheart in the council chambers. I think that was earlier today.
I think you're right.
Maybe yesterday, I can't remember. You don't see like a seam or anything like that. It's just solid.
Mm.
What do you think, guys?
So all we see is light coming out of the bottom of the doorway.
So this doorway here, it swings inward, so it's creaked inward a bit, and you see light starting to spill out, like a flickering light, like a flame. Not unlike the light that was in the cabinet with you, Basil, just brighter. You do still, this is a doorway here. There is a doorway over here as well, but it is currently closed. You have the stairs. You can go wherever you want here.
Okay. Speaking outside to the group, again, like, so Basil probably would be like, wants to kick down this door. Kick open the door and just be like, what's coming, what's here.
Which door?
The door with the light that was creaked
Okay.
open.
I mean, we can't get out the way that we came, so Mrs. Q wouldn't yell at you if you looked for an alternate exit route.
Is everyone cool if I do that? All right, Basil's gonna like walk up and he's just gonna say, "Stand ready," and he's just gonna like kick the door open or kick it completely open. Let's see, sword's still ready. Like what is this?
Be careful, Basil. Guidance.
So as you do, I just want to something real quick here. Okay, it does work. Okay. As you do, you go ahead and kick the door open, Basil. You enter what appears to be a library or a study. There is a fire on the other side of the room that's lit. The fire itself is this, like, it looks like it's been going for a few hours, where it's healthy embers, healthy flames, well tended. The room is lined in bookshelves. The books go all the way up to the ceiling. It's again like a vaulted ceiling. It's like 20 feet tall. And you just see row after row, spine after spine of book. There is a chest in the far corner from you and two chairs that are facing one another. What?
Nothing.
Okay.
I just had a moment.
And from your vantage point, you do see on the that there appear to be like trinkets or scrolls or something adorning. Yeah, you'd see from there something adorning the mantle of this fireplace. And you see a tapestry hung above the stone of this fireplace. You did a thorough sweep of this house. This room was empty when you were in it. What? Why are you looking at me?
Basil, what do your Gerbine eyes see?
He describes exactly what you described.
Aurora,
What?
as kicked open the door.
With Sir Basil?
Oh, sorry, Basil. As Basil kicked open the door, Aurora, you see the beacon blink out, the one at the top of the stairs. Go ahead, Basil.
So is this not like a library that was in Zogma's house? Like, because if it was, Basil would recognize this place. Or is it
So
like
this,
some complete?
no, so this room, the walls, the door, like everything looks like the footprint of this house is the same as what you walked through a couple hours ago. When you walked through the house a couple hours ago, there was no belongings. Furniture was in disarray and broken. There was a layer of dust everywhere. Like there were no books. If there was a book, it was ripped to the point where it couldn't have been read. And there were no, I forget the way I said it last time, but there was no personality to this. There was no symbol of who owned it or what they might be interested in.
Yep.
This room, it's almost hard for you to make sense of what you're seeing because the room is the same. The contents is different.
Yeah. Okay.
Not to mention there was no roaring fires in any rooms that you walked through.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you guys do?
Apoc's coming with you. I got your back.
I guess we walk into the room. Yeah. Maybe like somewhere in the middle. Just slowly at the guard at the ready.
I think I'm gonna come in too, just by the door.
Okay.
Mrs. Q sort of stands in the threshold of the door. She wants to keep an eye that this door doesn't close on us, like the last one.
Elle's
From a-
gonna hang back a little bit. She does not like what's going on.
From a distance, can we see anything in the fire? Kind of like how we were in the bandit stronghold in the mountains. There were creatures that came from it.
Go ahead and make a perception check since you are a bit far.
That's a nat 20.
Nice. What you see, the flame just looks like flame. Just looks like ye old standard flame. The fire itself looks like ye old standard standard fire. What you do see with a nat 20 from your vantage point is there's a lot of trinkets on the mantelpiece. You do see one that has been folded like a letter and kind of stood up right in the middle of the mantelpiece with a little wax seal. From your vantage point as well, I'm going to say the other thing you notice as you are trying to take a really good look at the fireplace is the tapestry. That's the first word that comes to mind, but as you look at it a bit more, a better word is painting. And as you really look at it, you're at an odd angle. It's a little hard to tell exactly what it is you see, but you do see like trees of this brilliant purple and pink, a sky that is like filtered through with orange, grass of a green that you've never seen before. And it almost looks to ripple and sort of move, like there's a magic underlying it.
Is this similar to the painting we would have seen in what's that shop? Like Aurora's friend's shop.
It is very reminiscent of Peppermint's painting in, I think it was Nadia's shop. I can't remember her name in Brackenville.
Aurora, you need to see this.
Look with my eyes.
Yeah, does that painting look familiar?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Pip's work.
What would Pip's painting be doing in a place like this?
I have no idea.
It's not just a painting, is it? Paintings don't move.
I'm going to clarify it. There's magic to this painting where the painting almost looks alive, but it's not like it's a moving picture.
Okay, it wasn't like physically rippling.
It's like the depth, the colors, the composition is so realistic that it looks like it could be something you fall into.
Can I take a closer look?
So Basil's also gonna approach cautiously.
Okay. As you approach more cautiously, it comes more into view what Apoc could see with a nat 20.
Yeah.
This image, would you guys know? I don't know if any of you would know about it. This image of trees that are just the wrong color, grass that is just this vibrant shade that you've never seen before. You both would tell that it's not on this plane of existence, but whoever's in the room, if you wanted to roll an Arcana, so Aurora, Basil, and Apoc, you want to roll an Arcana check or a History check.
Ooh, I might take you up on history.
Yeah, I'll allow either or.
No, I wouldn't.
17 Arcana.
That's enough.
I don't think Apoc's gonna roll.
Okay. With a 17 Arcana, Aurora, you, as a best guess, this looks like something from stories about the Feywild that you've heard.
Guys, does anybody know about the Feywild? Because I've been researching it for a while, but I want to know if anybody else knows. Yeah. Elle, front and center, homeschool lesson class. What do you know about the Feywild?
I think Elle would know a lot in relation to stories or anything that she would have been taught by Master Wayra. And if she does come into this room, would she kind of clock the painting as the one that she tried to touch to get sucked into?
So it's not the same image, but it's the same artist. So yes, you would clock it as well. But if you recall the image in, or maybe it was Nadi's, I can't remember what her name was, Nadi's shop was a like purple lake with layers of deeper and deeper green trees spanning out from it. The lake reflecting almost like a gossamer cloud, purpley blue cloud. This is the same kind of depth and composition, but in a much brighter saturation, a much brighter tone.
Do I see any similar spheres just floating around in this room? Those glowing orbs?
There's nothing in this room.
Okay.
However, Basil, I think you're the closest at this point, unless anyone else has gotten closer. The letter under Peppermint's painting catches your attention as it's got your name on it.
So Basil, surprised by it, kind of like drops his sword, walks over and picks up the letter to open it to read.
You drop your sword?
No, like I mean, like he kind of like,
Oh, okay.
because he's
Yeah,
been on
okay,
guard.
you lower your sword.
Lowers his sword, goes and opens his letter.
Okay. As you open the letter, breaking open the wax seal, you read the words, "Welcome all of you to our home. Let's start the clock. Find your history and burn it. Tick-tock."
I'll assume Sir Basil read this out loud.
Did you?
Yeah, I would have read it out loud. And as soon as he finishes reading, he's just gonna like look at the group, and he's gonna have like almost like a sense, like a look of like terror, like what have I brought my friends into? Cool.
You did read it out loud?
Yeah. And he's just kind of staring at the group like just with shock.
Huh. Okay.
It says find my history or find our history.
Find your history and burn it. But the letter said, "Welcome all of you to our home."
I'm going to start investigating the bookshelves.
Yep.
Go ahead and make me an oh, sorry, go ahead, Mrs. Q.
No, go ahead. Nothing.
If you're going to investigate the bookshelves, go ahead and make an investigation check.
That's 25.
Woo.
Wow. Okay, with a 25. As you are going through reading over the spines, kind of opening a couple books, one of them catches your attention. It's almost like it, kind of like out of the corner of your eye, it almost seems to sort of just flash very briefly as you run a hand along the spines of the book. And you see the spine of the book. The title of this book is called The Guild Merchant.
Ooh.
Guild Merchant is in quotations. And you see 2 letters at the bottom, so kind of at the very bottom of the spine. AW.
Yeah, I grab it. Grab it, open it up, start reading it.
As you start reading this book, it starts with a very prosy, very heavy, almost ballad-like prophecy that slowly turns darker and darker. And as you read through it, you start to notice the way the word salty was used here didn't mean salty as a didn't mean salty as a feeling, more so as a spice. You start to pull out
Oh no.
spice in this prose. And the prose turns to a dark patriarchal figure, the jealousy of a sibling, and the death of friends, and ends with a sketch on the very last page. The sketch of a chiseled face, narrowed eyes, almost looks like shards of crystal that this face is made out of. And as the light of the fire kind of hits it just right, you see a blue tinge across the skin of this drawing.
I snap the book closed and just throw it into the fire.
What was that?
Guys, I don't recommend reading the books.
We just burn them?
Yeah, I'm like elevated, like you can see like just breathing really quickly, very uncalm for Aurora, and just like panicked. And then I'm gonna go like sit in the corner, and after I throw the book in, just kind of like rocking back and forth, trying to calm myself down. Like clutching Maitland, just holding on to him and just rocking.
So Basil's going to clock that, but the same time too, just be like thinking about like TikTok wrong clock, and he's just going to be constantly like saying like find our history, find our history. What could that mean? And unless other people want to investigate stuff, I'd probably want to investigate the chest. And then I think you mentioned that there was like up here there were, what was it?
Paintings?
Tapestries?
Yes, that you kept saying that like, or you said that like they stood out to me because they weren't there before.
Correct.
So
No. Sorry, go ahead and finish up.
we'll investigate the chest and then that.
Okay. So we'll just stay within the room for now. So we'll investigate the chest first. So go ahead and roll an investigation check as you're looking at this closed chest.
Let's hope that this is a good roll. The 5.
Oh my god.
It's a 5.
Throw that die in the fire.
Oh man, what the heck?
Chest. Made of wood.
Can I open it?
Yeah. You go ahead and heave open the chest. Make a dexterity saving throw.
There it is. There it is.
Yes.
Through G thing Lao.
13.
13. As you go to heave open the chest, you hear a tiny mechanism clink, and you see a string kind of pop back at you. As the chest opens and you see a like hail of tiny darts shoot out at you. You go to try and get out of the way in time, and although you're able to avoid a few of them, you are stuck like on one side of your body, unable to avoid the darts as they stick into you.
Oof.
You do take. So you do take 6 points of piercing damage as the darts stick in. And you take another 6 points of acid damage
Oh,
as it starts to sizzle as one of them has stuck just under your armor.
Not in there.
so I laughed earlier and looked at you when I saw the chest. I was like, one of these things is going to be a mimic, and it's probably not going to be the chest. But like, God damn it, there's got to be something.
Remember, folks, we haven't seen mimics yet, and they're my favorite monster. Do you still leave the room, Basil? Because I
Maybe
just
I,
want to finish up in the room before we go anywhere else, is what I'm saying. That's all. That's the only reason I'm asking.
Sure, but I'd probably bring somebody with me.
Okay. So whoever else is in the room, Elle hasn't gone yet, Mrs. Q hasn't gone, Apoc hasn't gone. We'll just skip back to them before we move to the tapestries, Basil.
I'll defer to the girls first because I kind of looked at the painting when we got in
I was going to look at the painting, but I couldn't remember if anyone had looked at it closer.
from a distance.
Okay. Having seen Aurora's reaction to the books, Elle does not want to touch the books. I think she's gonna go look a little closer at the painting.
Okay. You can go ahead and make another, we'll say investigation check in this case, since you're really looking at it.
I rolled a 7 and 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
You're not going to get much more other than that it is familiar based on what you've seen before. You do notice in the corner, because you are close enough now, you do notice that same signature from the first painting. So it was a small sword and 2 rings. And you can make an assumption without a doubt that this is the same artist. This is Peppermint's work. With an 8, I'm going to say you don't get much more than that, as a nat 20 really did cover a lot of it. But it's still that same kind of almost like an Alice through the looking glass kind of situation. Like you could just fall in if you touch it.
Elle's gonna go up and touch it.
You have to like climb on the mantle a little bit, but
yeah, she doesn't care. Just like she tried to touch the other painting, she's gonna try to touch it.
You reach out and touch it. It's a smooth canvas.
Well, one of these times.
Mrs. Q, Apoc.
Just gonna go over to Aurora. Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, just these books know too much about us. Like, maybe there's one for all of us. Maybe that's what it means. Like, find our history. But I made the mistake of looking into it and just brought back a lot of dark things. And for someone to know that has me very, very scared.
Do you think they actually know it, or is it the spell that just reacts to you?
I don't know. Maybe find your book to confirm, but like, there's things in there that even I haven't told anybody, not even you guys, that was in there.
So how do they know it?
I don't know. That's why I'm scared.
You're strong. I've seen you do lots of things. I mean, you just brought back someone from the dead.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything you need to be scared of.
Well, if I am, then it's probably because it's something beyond us. Let's try and stick together at least. And so I'll pick myself up. It's like
Apoc will lend a hand.
I'll like grab your hand. It's like the last thing we need to do is split up right now.
I'm with you. He just like puts a hand on the lower back of Aurora.
I love Eric's face.
I think that's Aurora's face too. I can help you find your book, and I'll step a little way away from it and start reading through the books to try and help Apoc out.
If you're looking for your book,
Looking, yeah, with the help
You're
of
looking on
Aurora.
so
I'm still in the bed sheets by the way.
God, I forgot about that. It's just a toga now.
Yeah.
So either both of you roll investigation or you roll with advantage.
No, I'm gonna roll.
You're gonna roll? Okay.
Yeah. 21.
Woo!
That's a nat one. So
Okay. I'll take the 21.
By the way, I'm pulling the toga off. Like, it's tied in the right way. It looks great.
Yeah.
I thought you were literally pulling it off.
I did too. I was
No,
like, what is
I'm-
happening now?
I'm making it work.
Yeah, it looks fantastic with the Uggs. I feel like with the Nat 1, Apoc is a little uncomfortable at the exchange that just happened. And Aurora is trying to forget as much as possible, as quickly as possible. And the next thing that sticks out to you, Aurora, that same almost like corner of the eye, silvery glow looking for Apoc's book. You see the title of this one, as you read the spine, is The Haunted One.
Ooh.
I think this is yours. Pull it out. As much as I want to read it, I hand it over to you.
Open it up.
As you open the book, the first thing you notice, and because this is ye old times, everything is handwritten. Aurora, your pages were handwritten. The text of your book starts out jet black, the darkest, blackest ink. As you start kind of reading through it, yours is more of a piecemeal of paragraph of writing with almost a drawing on each page. You see a description of spending time in the apple orchard, a drawing of a bow with an apple on the end of the arrow. You see the first design that you've come up with, the apple core. And as you read, you see a drawing, a like 2-page spread of a meadow that has haunted your dreams. The next page, you see the text visibly get a shade lighter as it describes an encounter and a creature. Veins of emerald. You flip the page, the text gets a shade lighter as it describes starting the boar logs scratching into the tree. You flip a page and the text just start getting lighter and lighter until they're illegible.
Ooh.
Chuck it into the fire. See why you didn't like that?
I'll start looking for a book that has the little initials RQ on them.
Mrs.
Go ahead and
Q
make
kind of like she sort of edges her way into the room, realizing that there is probably a actual TikTok somewhere. So maybe there is a need to rush, but she just really, really, really doesn't want this door to close on them.
Yeah, I assume too, like this whole experience of reading the books, like you guys haven't really shared with the group what you've been doing. It's just like you've just been throwing books in the fire.
Bless you.
Hey, you're the one that said burn your history.
So Mrs. Q, you do enter the room. Aurora, you did say you were going to start looking for the book RQ. Make an investigation check.
Not great. 11.
11?
No, actually better than that. 16.
16? Okay, great. It takes you a little bit longer. It's not as easy as pulling it off the shelf, but you kind of backtrack a little as you feel like you've seen it before. And as Mrs. Q steps into the room, you pull off the shelf a book with the title The Inheritor.
I'll walk over to Mrs. Quillam. I won't open the book. Mrs. Quillam, I think this one's yours. If it's anything like mine, it's going to tell you stuff about your past that you're probably not going to be happy about. So just content warning, trigger warning, and if you don't want to see it, just throw it in the fire, because I think that's what we have to do. And like I give you space, the book. And I'll start looking for another one.
Mrs. Q, open the book.
You don't have to.
I mean, I'm kind of curious as to what's in the book, but that's like Georgina is curious, not Mrs. Q is curious. Mrs. Q, I don't think would care. She's old and over this drama.
So you walk over and just throw it in the fire?
Yeah, Mrs. Q would just throw it straight in the fire. She wouldn't even open it.
If you want my opinion, it's just a little unsettling.
Mrs. Q is such a badass.
I know. Jeez.
You could reach into the fire and pull it out with Nona power.
Yeah, no about.
No, in reality, like Mrs. Q would like take the book and without even looking at it, like walk straight to the fire and throw it in.
Okay. Mrs. Q walks to the fire and throws it in. Sorry, Basil.
No. I mean, I'll just say maybe like Basil starts realizing what's been going on, and he'll look at the books.
So I know Aurora said she was looking as well. Basil, this is two separate looks. So Basil, roll an investigation check. Aurora, roll an investigation check.
I rolled a 12.
14.
12 and 14. This isn't particularly hard, guys. It's more how long it's taking you to find these books.
Oh.
Basil, it's taking you just a little bit of time with this one, but you kind of get the gist that you're looking for something special. And as you are scanning the spines, you see one that's on the shelf just above what you can reach. The title is The Folk Hero.
Okay.
Aurora, as you see Basil kind of find his, knowing that there's only one left to find. You look until the book that catches your eye is titled The Wind Touched.
I'll take that down. Basil, I think I got your book.
Looking at it, maybe even seeing initials on the spine. I'm like, maybe that one's L's.
Pass it out.
I've been sitting up on like the mantle of the fire, just kind of watching everybody freak out. So she's not keen to open this book.
Elle and Basil, you both have your books. What you choose to do.
Opens his.
Sir Basil opens his. You open yours to the first page. It's blank. You open to the second page, third page, all the way to the end. Every page is blank.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, that's awful. Oh,
That is awful.
oh that's so... Why do you gotta do him dirty like that, Andrew?
A folk hero who's literally accomplished nothing. I like that. To give it some flavor, rather than toss it in the fire, because Sir Basil can infuse weapons with like elements, he'll like just toss the book on the floor, infuse his sword with fire, and just stab it.
That is incredible, and I love
His
it.
jaw will be clenched. You can't see his eyes because of his visor, but he's just like enraged, but just
I love that. Elle, you have your book.
Ella's been taught not to destroy knowledge, so she's really struggling with this one. Even though she's scared, she's going to open the book.
You open the book, and yours is a picture book. You see, as you open the first page, a crayon drawing of a ramshackle house that looks like it has been destroyed. And as you flip to the next page and the next page, you see almost like a flip book. If you flip back and forth, the image seems to like shift in one way, of two lumas, one of them very old, one of them older but on the younger side. The first image with their hoods up, the second image kind of looking over their shoulder where you see half their face. And the older luma you recognize immediately. The younger looking luma, the only reason you recognize it is because, well, after your divination, the wind helped you draw it. They seem to be wearing traveling cloaks. As you flip to the next page, you see a rough, the best you can make out is a map of Humblewood with a like hash marked trail leading from Marshview, looping around and around, almost comically spanning the whole map. And as you flip to the last page, you see it's more geometric almost than the other drawings, but still done in crayon. And you see almost four geometric faces, chiseled, like a chiseled cheek, a chiseled jawline, what looks like carved hair, barred teeth, like pointed teeth, as they seem to almost be smiling or snarling through it. One of them is chiseled in or drawn in red, one of them in blue, one of them in green, an emerald deep green, and one of them in almost a brighter kind of blue, gray, hint of green, like a turquoise aqua kind of color. And your book ends.
Elle is going to rip that last page out of the book and show it to the rest of the group. I think this is important. Do we have to destroy this page?
I just imagine like Lord of the Rings, cast it into the fire.
Does the chiseled blue face look familiar?
Yes, to you.
Does the green face look familiar to us?
No,
The emerald green?
Not the same
Does
emerald.
the color is emerald green. The face does not look familiar to any of you.
Does the gray look familiar to any of us?
Nope.
So Basil's just gonna.
Does the red one look familiar to us?
The blue one was also in my book.
Okay.
I know that face. You don't need to hang on to the page.
But what about the other ones?
I'm guessing the blue face will know the other colored faces, and I can talk to them if we have more questions. Time is of the essence. I don't want to mess with whatever this house is. Toss it into the fire.
Oh,
So Basil just come over, maybe put a hand on Elle and say, "It's okay. You can throw it in the fire."
I'll toss the page in the fire along with the other book.
Basil will wait, anticipating like if anything gonna happen.
you sit for a beat. Sit for another beat. Nothing changes in this room.
All right, let's.
Um, burn your history.
Basil,
Yeah,
why would your sister leave you a letter in Zogma's house?
I don't know. And if anything, I have more questions. In frustration, I feel like maybe Basil will like kind of yell out, just like to maybe if someone's listening, like, "Enough of your games! Where are you? Show yourself!"
Does the room continue like if we go up?
If you go up the stairs,
No, like up the room. Like, sorry, I just don't see a wall on the map. Does it keep going if we go past the chair up?
oh, I see. Sorry, that's the edge of the room.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, on this floor, that's the edge of the room.
Okay.
I'm gonna go scoop up the remains of Basil's book and toss it in the fire just to put them all together.
As you do that and wait a beat and wait a beat, nothing changes in this room. But a voice comes back into your head, Basil. Gotta be a bit patient here, mate. You came a bit too early. We need a bit of time. Enjoy the
Time
house.
for what? You'll just hear Basil like speaking to nobody.
Don't get anything back.
The Basil will say, "They're holding us here. They're biding their time for something. I don't know what."
I think we need to find our own way out.
Yeah. No point staying here.
Is there it's probably grasping at straws. Are there any like loose floor tiles?
You can make me an investigation check, Mrs. Hugh.
The first roll of the night.
Yeah, I haven't rolled anything.
Sorry, Georgina.
Don't be a one. Don't be a one. Don't be a one.
That's a 4.
Oh.
I don't know what's happening tonight. Why do all of our rolls suck?
Lousy rolls.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, I mean, this is a like a polished wooden floor. Everything looks, very tip top, very well maintained, like freshly oiled kind of thing. There isn't even a squeak in this floor. But you know from being here in Alderheart, things are carved out of the tree. It's not like tile was put over this floor, it's part of the tree.
No, you're right.
Okay. Out of game thought. Okay. It seems like whoever this is wants us alive. What if we just burn the whole place down?
That's a way to burn your history, Basil.
Will they rescue us? Because they clearly want, like, they're toying with us. Like we're here too early. Like,
I mean, if everything's made of wood, can we not just burn our way out?
burn the whole place.
Well, I
Aurora,
mean,
do you still have that axe?
Well, it's Basil's axe. Here you go, Basil.
you
I
have
mean, it's fun, right? You can just cut a hole through.
just cut our way out.
So it's okay. You don't want me to burn the place down.
I think we should try to escape first. I don't think we should set fire to a house that we can't get out of.
Although I love the fact of a game of chicken, though.
I just spent the evening resurrecting my brother from the dead. I don't want to play chicken.
Yeah. All right. In that case, and don't forget we still have this other room, right?
Ooh,
There's a lot we have to explore. I mean, we can go up the stairs too.
can I cast clairvoyance into that room?
Sure, into the covered room?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna say just as a time thing too, because we are at 10:30. This might just be the last action of this session, just as a heads up. Unless anyone wants to go until 11.
If you guys want to do something before.
Okay. So as you go ahead and cast clairvoyance into this room.
And I'll just describe it to everybody as I see in there.
Yes. So as you go ahead and cast clairvoyance into this room, I just need to see the uncovered version here. What you see, the room is more dimly lit. You can see immediately there's a fireplace, a stone fireplace, not unlike the one in the library. However, there is no well-tended fire in this case. You do see some sconces, some torches giving a low light along the wall. You see a long table. It's like ornately carved, once more kind of coming out of the wood of Alderheart itself. You see some high-backed dining chairs that are kind of scattered. They're close to the table, but not all facing the table. You do see a mural carved into the walls, very ornate. You see tall glass vases adorning the mantelpiece of this fireplace. It's a well-decorated area. And you do see what looks like a soft, like a deep brown rug under the table around the chairs is what it looks like.
Basil, there's no one in there.
Hmm. Okay. What does the group want to do?
Are there any final actions you'd like to do to conclude this initial search in this between the library and the main entry room before we end the session today?
Presumably the door is still gone, right? Front door?
Nothing has changed when you come back out to the main room.
Unless you want to leave it to next session, like still checking out those tapestries or whatever they were on the, I guess, up the stairs. But we can save that if that's.
We'll unless you're okay going another 10 minutes, I'm going to leave that to the group because it's 10:30.
I am running out of energy here. I am like half asleep.
Okay, so I might want to do one last thing, but we'll save the tapestries for next session. Elle?
Elle's gonna look back at where the door was, and again, we just see wood, right?
Yes, it's a just smooth paneled wood at this point.
So we could leave it on the moment. If the group wants to go up, Elle's gonna just stand there thinking about, we're in a big tree. We're in a big tree. And she's gonna cast shape plants and try to make a doorway.
Ooh, I love it.
I had thought about doing that because I also have shaped plants. It has like, I don't know, it has the stipulation about the plant being like 5 feet or something.
Let me see.
Any plant life you can see that fits within a 5-foot cube. So I think she's just trying to make a 5-foot cube door.
Okay, that's smart.
That's really
She's
cool.
she's gonna try. She doesn't like it in here and she wants to get out.
What level spell is this?
4th. I realize it's my only 4th level spell, but
Hey.
I need to refresh.
You do what you gotta do.
yeah, we can try.
Sorry, just give me one quick second here.
That's what the pearl is power is for.
Okay,
There we go.
I burnt
Shape
all of my
plants.
high level spells before we even started this.
Yeah, basically Elle is gonna think about what she has seen Astra or Ailing, one of the chicken tenders, do, and try to shape.
It is so hard to focus on what the spell says when I know you call them the chicken tenders.
Oh.
Okay, this is just me.
But again, we can also Elle could stand there thinking while the group moves, and we could save it till next. I just don't want to forget that that's what I want to do.
Any plant life you can see within range that fits within a 5-foot cube. Take on whatever shape you desire. It's a tree. It is a living tree. It's not petrified the way the avium is. Yeah, okay. So as you go to cast this shape plant, just give me a very quick, what does this look like?
Well, Elle's used to working with wind, so she kind of approaches it similarly with a lot more. She starts with a lot more fluid movements, but then kind of feels like the element she's working with is different and starts to do a lot more just like short, precise movements to try and shape something. Essentially like Winnie the Pooh in the like stuck in the tree, like she just wants to make like a round hole.
Okay. As you go to try and make this round hole, you're right, it is different. You're not used to working with plants and working with earth. You're used to working with something a lot more fluid than this. But as you sort of push and almost kind of like pry apart this hole in the wall, you do begin to make progress. And you do begin to make a hole. And your eyes are clenched closed, and as you open them, you can almost see the handle of the door before it starts to feel like it's starting to fight back and almost begin to close on you. I don't know if that's still accurate. I'm going to say Aurora at the end of your see invisibility. Kind of out of the corner of your eye, seeing Elle try this, you see that little speck of light at the very top of the vaulted room start to burn a bit brighter as Elle is trying to push her way through using shape plant. I think that's where we'll end.